Okay, this is part 2. We took the initial cartridge out of this and we kind of started the process. The next piece that we have to do requires insulin. That's where I get this bottle. Most of the insulin we use to put into our pump comes from this. There are 2 other types of insulin. We have Humalog in here and Lantus in here. If you're using a pump, you don't need these. You don't need this pen, but it's always good, especially when we're on vacation, which is what we're at now, to have those. I also like to use the Frio bag because it keeps it nice and cool, and I keep this in the fridge when on vacation. So we're gonna use this today, this Humalog, to get the insulin into the cartridge. So at this point, I'm gonna take out 3 things, these 3. So I'll take out this. This is part of the needle, the bottom of the pump part of the needle. So it's garbage. And then take out this part of the needle. And that's this one. These 2 go together. So they twist on together like this. Just make sure it's nice and tight and it looks like this. And then when you take this off, the needle will be there. But I'm first gonna take out this. This is the beginning of the cartridge, which was this. And it'll be that way in a little bit. So the first thing we're gonna do now is we need to get insulin in here. So we're gonna take off the top, and it's got a pretty steady needle. When I do this, I like to pump it just a couple times to make sure it's not sticky, but I also like to take out, and then sometimes this beeps at you if you're not attached and going, and so it gets a little pissy, so just ignore it. So I'll usually go out to like 1.5 here, and then I'll put that amount of air in this insulin bottle. So you just poke it in here and you push the air in. It just makes it easier to bring the insulin in the end. And then I go like this. Sometimes I do like kind of see how it's at, and I just bring it for her. We go down to about, there's the 1, it's a half, and it says 1, and I do like 2 or 3 notches down from that, maybe not a full 1.5, but like a little bit closer to 1.5 for me than 1. So I also like to do, kind of push in, try to get the bubbles in there, and then just try to get it as least bubbly as possible. So it's about at 1.5 right now. I'm feeling good where it's at, and I just take it off and we're good. And I put that aside because we don't need the insulin anymore. The next thing I like to do, because it's important, in here is like a bladder, like if you can imagine a bladder, and that's what's gonna end up holding all this insulin. So because it's not perfect and they can't make it perfect, I like to try to, you have to take out as much air in here in the bladder already. There shouldn't really be much in there, but it's good to take it out. So this little piece right here, this little white piece, is where you're gonna poke the needle into. So I'm gonna poke the needle in there, and before I try to put the insulin in, the first thing you wanna do is take that air out. So I just try to pull it out as much as I can, kind of thinking that the bladder's kind of sucking itself in. And then when I feel like there's enough pressure, I just take it off, and then this starts to kind of give way, but hopefully all that air has been taken out of here, because this is what we're gonna use in a minute. Here too, you'll see now that there's a lot of air in between, and I like to push it up. And you also, on the bottom, there's like little champagne bubbles. And so you wanna try to just tap it a few times. And there's air still at the top, which is okay. And then you just try to squirt it out. It stinks, I don't like the smell of insulin. But there's still little champagne bubbles in there, so I'm still gonna go a little bit better. So at this point, it looks like all the bubbles are out. I'm feeling pretty set. And this next piece, an important piece, is to make sure to get, we've already taken the air out of here. Now we're gonna put the insulin in, because hopefully we got all the air bubbles out and the air bubbles out of here. So we're gonna put it together. So I'm gonna go back into that white little piece right here, and it kind of stops you. So don't try to push it in like far, because there's like, you can feel like a stopper where it won't let you push the needle in anymore. So don't force it at all, because that's not good. You just stop there, and then you just slowly start, because you can feel pressure because it doesn't go in like super fast. And you just slowly put the insulin into the cartridge. So once I get all of it in there, I take it out and I put this down for a second, because you definitely want to get this on, and you put this, this is the only thing that you need to put in a sharps container, but you definitely want to get the cover on just for safety reasons for you and for whoever deals with trash, and put this in the trash can or in the sharps container. All right, that's part 2.